What's happening, everybody? It's time for another Accountability Success Circle Quickie. We're going to get started in just a moment. Today we're talking about self-care. Yeah, so let us know in the comments if you're watching live or the replay. These are unconventional self-care practices. You're going to want to tune in for this one. And we're going to go live in 3, 2, 1. I thought this music was going to have... Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
It is
Love
dropped.
it. I love it. I love it. Hi, Gary.
Hi, how are you doing, April?
It's been a minute.
It's been, yes, a hot
I wonder why. What's been going on in your life, sir?
minute. I don't know. My wife had a baby. So little Cameron is here. He is 3 weeks old as of yesterday.
Yay.
So yeah, all kinds of stuff. How are you doing? How have you been?
I'm good. I feel like I'm back to the education grind. School has started over here. We're officially done with 1 week after today's day is over. And this year, more than ever, I've had a lot more time to myself, and I'm loving it. This is the perks of having older children. So, yay!
Yeah. I am not that fortunate with a kindergartner, but you know,
But it's all good. I got you.
it is what it is, and you know that is a great segue into today's quickie because we were talking about self-care, and if you are experiencing burnout or you know at the peak of burnout, yeah, you know it's important to take care of yourself because back at the ranch at the Accountability Success Circle, you know, that's our theme. That's what we've been focusing on for the whole month of August, just to get everyone rejuvenated. You know, we are 8 months into 2022. You know, we're over the hump. And, you know, it's not a marathon. So we need to be taking care of ourselves so that, you know, we can make it through the year. And yeah, I think we should just dive into it. We got some good stuff planned for you all.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
Number 1.
Oh, hold up real quick. What's up, Steven?
Yay, Steven!
Yay.
Thanks for showing up.
Right? And big celebration to Steven. He just had a birthday, so happy birthday, Steven.
Happy birthday.
Yay. Happy birthday to
I got a happy
you.
birthday hat.
It's all good.
dad-
Yeah, so self-care. Self-care,
Yes,
that's important.
unconventional.
Unconventional. And this first one is one that you wouldn't necessarily think of as it pertains to self-care, but it is important, especially in the technology age that we live in. And number 1 is allowing yourself to get bored. I know, right? And so you might be thinking, why does getting bored have to do with self-care? What does that have to do? Well, just think about it like this. When we were younger, you know, think about like the summertime when you were younger and your mom and dad, you know, your parents said, you know, go out and do something. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Mom, Dad, I'm so bored. Well, guess what? When you allow yourself to be bored, your brain gets into like the default network. This is where the imagination comes in. This is where amazing ideas come from. And in this day and age, because we are always connected, we have these amazing devices at an arm's reach. It's hard to get bored because there's something always stimulating our brain, and that's not always a good thing. And so, you know, if you want that jolt of creativity, you know, if you want to, you know, think of some amazing ideas, you know, embrace it. You know, like, oh, I'm bored. You know what? Sit with it. Allow yourself to be bored because that is, you know, allowing your brain to sort of recharge, allowing your brain to, you know, daydream, to wander, and that's where amazing things going to happen. What's your take on this, April?
I completely agree. You know, I think I know that when I think about the term bored, I'm like, no, but I've got stuff to do. But you know, that's exactly the whole point when it comes to self-care. You want to take a break from the things that are making your mind race, and doing, and find ways to give yourself that self-care. And so I kind of think about this as looking at like clearing your calendar for a day, relieving yourself of the responsibility of having to be anywhere or do anything at any time, so that you have the openness to do whatever you want. And I tend to try to do that as much as possible on the weekends. If there's a event, that needs to happen, or, we've got something that we've got going on, any other time outside of that needs to just be clear of being open to whatever might happen. And so, for example, this past weekend, I was going to have a very slammed weekend, but the weather was not great, which was great because then I could focus on self-care. And I did a race on a Saturday morning, and it was rainy, and I got to sit on the couch all day trying to look for things to watch on Netflix or all the streaming services, and there was nothing to watch. So I actually was able to listen to an audiobook and just chose to do that, and finished it in 2 days, which was awesome. And I never do that. So, but I had the choice to do it, which was great. And so that was my self-care for the weekend. So just to give you an example. All right,
Yeah.
number 2.
We should go to number 2. And so when we talk about self-care, a lot of times people think, oh, this is a solitary thing. You go to the spa by yourself. You do these things by yourself. However, that is just refilling like one of your cups. Oftentimes, people are left like feeling unfulfilled, and it's because you need to do what we're recommending in number 2, is connect with someone important. Who are the people in your community that lift you up? How can you connect with them? And that doesn't necessarily mean scheduling a BFF date, but maybe it does. Maybe it's all about reaching out to that someone, hopping on the phone, having a conversation. No necessary agenda, but just connecting with them. We talk about this a lot in the ASC. You are the average of the people that you surround yourself with. So how can you, tap into that, so that you can fill up that cup. What do you got, April?
Yeah, and I think, the more you can, take time to connect in a way that is not, getting things done focused, right? And really allowing yourself to feel almost that emotional pull. I feel like, that can fill your cup and re-energize you. So, you could even combine our self-care tip number 1 with number 2. Connect with somebody important. Just kind of sit around, invite a friend over, just chit chat, or even just call them on the phone. I think that there's a lot of power in just being able to share what's going on. A lot of times those conversations can include what's going on in life, like how are things doing. You're able to reflect, which I think is also another great self-care practice that we know about. So I think that connecting with people is super fun. And if you don't feel like you still need that solitude, then have that someone important be yourself, and figure out what that is. It could be and it could be one person, yourself. It could be 5 people, whatever that means to you. But I think that the connection, we tend to think that that's doing something, but it can actually be very powerful in terms of self-care. So move on to number 3, one of my favorites.
Number 3.
Number 3.
No.
Saying no. You want me to take this first, or you?
Yeah, kick it off.
So I love talking about this idea of saying no. And, we did also talk about this in our webinar last week that really talked about self-care practices for those high achievers, the people who are always busy. How do we make time to, when we've got so much going on, and we don't necessarily realize that saying no is an act of self-care, because when you're saying no to something that somebody's asking you to do, you're actually saying yes to you and what you want to do, whether it's doing something else or doing nothing. And so, and saying yes to the things that don't serve us is a very big indicator of what leads us generally to burnout. And so being able to look at something and say no, is great. And one example that I have is, somebody who is actually in our community doing a free trial. She had actually come to the realization, and Christine, if you're out there, I'll just wave. She had just said that like she realizes that she needs that like in-person connection, and so she is going to say no to continuing with our community, which is totally okay. To opt for more in-person experiences, which I thought was really, really great. Is of course, sad to not have her as a part of our online community, but it's in service to what she needs right now. And so I think that that's great. And so, you don't necessarily need to worry about what other people are thinking at the other end, because ultimately, if people care about you, they want you to be happy. And if it's, a detriment to them or whatnot, then you have to understand, right? So I think it's just really important to think about like, what are you saying no to, and what are some things that you can say no to. They could be the things that you feel guilty about, like you feel like obligated to say yes because you don't want to let somebody down. That's probably something you should be saying no to. So just think about that. All right, Gary, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, you nailed it. The one thing that I would add is I like to say turn FOMO into JOMO.
Mm,
FOMO is the fear of missing out. It's like you get anxious and like, oh, all the things that I'm missing out. April, you nailed it amazingly by saying no. You're saying yes to something else. For those of you who feel overcommitted, that might be one of the reasons why you're overcommitted. And not, hey, all those things may seem reasonable, but when life gets lifey, as Rebecca, who's in our
leadership team.
community leadership team, she talks about, yeah, having that space allows you the chance to breathe. And JOMO is the joy of missing out. I know, there's that initial anxiety, like, oh, I might be letting some people down, but at the end of the day, you're going to be letting yourself down if you're not able to do it. So
Yeah.
it is something that I'm currently practicing and trying to do my best, especially having two young kids and all kinds of other stuff going on. So can't
Yeah.
do everything.
Yeah, and I'm doing the same as well. Like I think I'm continuing to try to say no to things, and it almost seems scary to have extra time in my calendar to do the things that I want to do, but I also realized that for so many years I was doing other things that were preventing me from moving forward on some of the big things that I really cared about. And so it is a slower pace of life, and it's taken me, this journey of like 7 years of just saying no to a lot of things. And it's going to continue. But I assure you, if you care about having a better quality of life, it's a challenge that you need to take on for yourself, because you will be that much happier for it and still exerting the same amount of effort on things that you actually love. So yay! Those are our 3 unconventional tips. And should we
Yes.
take it home?
Yeah. Well, real quick before we bring it home, let us know what did you think? What were the ones that hit home for you? What are you going to work on? Is there something that we left out? Let us know in the comments. And April, let them know where they can get in touch with us if they
Yeah,
if they like our
absolutely.
jam.
We are the 2 founders of the Accountability Success Circle, along with Rebecca, who's on our leadership team. We are a community of, you know, achieving folks who want to accomplish awesome goals in life, but do it in a very fulfilling and fun way. And through that, we really provide support to each other and accountability to the things that we want to accomplish. And we even, kick off our year with, a planning retreat so that we can make sure that we're clear on the goals that we want to set for ourselves in the near future, and kind of just go through life together while also focusing on just a little bit of growth, just like personal growth, like you're watching right now. So we just wanted to share this little dose with you. If these tips are helpful, always feel free to come check us out at accountabilitysuccesscircle.com. We offer free trials to come check us out before, try before you buy method. And, we're just looking forward to seeing how we can support you in your life, personal and professional goals. So, all right. I think that's it. Till next time, right?
Yep. Till next time. See ya.